In this video today, we're going to unpack the NAR settlement, what it means for you, what it means for buying, what it means for selling, what it means for realtors, lenders, everybody that's kind of wrapped up in this real estate world, what it means for me as a real estate broker. We think it's important for you to have the facts and not to believe what the wild media has said. So we're going to go ahead and get that right now. This is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything about eating, sleeping, working, playing, and living in Bend, Oregon, then go ahead and tap that subscribe button below. Tap that bell for notifications. We'll make sure to keep you up to date on all the current happenings in and around Bend, Oregon. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm the leader of the Lifestyle in Bend team at eXp Realty. My partner Theron and I get calls, texts, emails, and Zoom requests every day from people like you, and you looking to make their move to Bend, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 900 days, we don't care. Give us a call, send us a text message, send us an email, sign up for a free Zoom consultation, and we will go to work on making your move to Bend as smooth as possible. What are we talking about today? The NAR settlement. I'm sure you've heard the news. I'm sure you've seen the posts on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and this, that, and the other. Well, it was a $418 million proposed settlement, right? The judge still has to weigh in, as well as the Department of Justice is going to give their opinion. But right now, here's what's on the table. NAR is going to pay over a 4-year period $418 million to the people that sued them, which is a group of people from Missouri. Now it's a nationwide case. It just got bigger and bigger. So what does the NAR settlement do? In the most basic essence, it takes compensation off of MLSs. What does that mean? Well, if you were never a realtor, you probably wouldn't even know this, but there's always a box that was checked on MLS. It's been like that since 2003 and been far before that. That's when I got my license, was in 2003. When you were going to sell a house, there was a box that says how much the listing agent was going to provide as cooperative compensation, meaning they got a listing agreement from the seller, and in that, they were going to give a portion of what they were getting to a buyer's agent. Well, that was looked at unkindly, and it doesn't really matter what my thoughts are because the rules are what the rules are. So right now, what's going to happen in July when this gets rolled out is that compensation agreement is going to be removed from the MLS. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be compensation for buyers brokers. It doesn't mean that buyer brokers are not going to get paid for representing their clients. It means that it's not going to be advertised. So while it was never a part of the deal prior to now, it now will be a part of the contract. So how does that work out? Well, the first thing is it's going to work out with a listing agent taking a listing from a seller, as I do with all of my clients, and most good listing agents do this, is it's an option, right? Like you can say, I want to reimburse the buyer's agent or pay a broker's commission of 1%, 0.5%, 2%, 3%, 10%. It doesn't matter what it is. It's never been 100% set in stone at all. Like it's always been negotiable. And a seller could offer whatever they wanted to. Prior to about a year ago, you had to offer some compensation, but even that went away about a year ago when, you could say, look, I'm not going to pay anything to a buyer's agent if they bring a buyer. So what does that mean for buyers? Well, it means you can go out unrepresented. You can go out and you can try to buy your own house, find your own home inspector, find a good lender, negotiate your own deal, write up all the paperwork, do the disclosures, the myriad of tasks that a buyer's agent takes on for you. Find the house, show the house, etc., etc. Now, we all know we can go on Zillow, we can go on Redfin, we can go on realtor.com, we can find the listings, but that's not what a realtor is for. A good buyer's agent knows the ins, the outs, they know of off-market properties. They know if it's a good deal, they know if it's not a good deal. They use their years and years worth of experience to help you navigate a better deal on your home purchase, or even getting to buy the house. It's been a competitive market in a lot of areas, and a lot of times the realtor who represents you will be the decision maker on if you're going to get the deal, because a lot of realtors like to work with people they know can get a deal done. And stuff happens with real estate deals. You've got to act fast, you've got to react, you got to have the right partners in place to sometimes make those deals happen. So, a buyer's agent brings a lot to the table. Should they get paid for their efforts? Well, this is what I do to support my family, so I think we should get paid. I mean, if you're in any business whatsoever, it doesn't matter what profession, you want to get paid for what you do. Unless you work for a nonprofit and then you're raising money for charity or something like that. That's a noble endeavor. But even the leaders of nonprofits get paid. So generally, we all live in America, capitalist society. We all get paid for what we do. It's never been non-negotiable, ever. But you could always say, as a listing agent, as a seller that was represented by the listing agent, this is how much I'm offer. And if the buyer's agent didn't like it, they could ask their buyer to make up the difference. Enter buyer broker agreements, right? So basically, it's an employment contract that your buyer and the buyer's agent sign that says you are going to pay me this amount of money for my services. So you're agreeing up front that this is how much your value is. Some people have less value, some people have more value. It really depends on how you negotiate that and what you bring to the table as a real estate agent on the buyer's side. What's changing is you have to have one of these agreements now before you can even look at the house. So there's a little tidbit of information for all you buyers out there, right? The days of you picking up the phone and calling the first person that answers and somebody showing up and letting you into the house and look around, those are done. That's not going to happen anymore. You're going to have to sign an agreement. Now, it might be a short-term agreement, might be a 24-hour agreement. Those things are still being discussed. And I know my brokerage is going to have a myriad of different buyer-broker agreements out there for all the different situations. What does that look like at an open house? You like to go shop on the weekends for open houses? Well, that's great. You can definitely go do that. But the listing agent now will have to, if they're going to represent you, sign a buyer-broker agreement with you. Right? Open houses are still going to change. None of this has been truly defined on how it's going to work out 100%, but the nuts and bolts of it, if decided on by the judge and how it gets ratified and what the Department of Justice says, things could definitely change. But you're going to have an agreement to look at a house. That's the long and short of it. That agreement is basically agreeing to what you're going to pay your buyer's agent to help you out. So what does that look like? Well, there's a couple buyers out there that this is going to be really tough for. First-time home buyers, right? Like, got to save up a down payment. You got to save up, closing costs. You got to do this. You got to do that. Home inspections, all that kind of stuff. And I got to pay my agent too. Well, that's terrible. Veteran buyers. There's a lot of talk about veteran buyers because veteran buyers are not allowed to have a concession or a commission paid out of their side of the deal. So it can't be a closing cost. Will that change? Let's hope so, because veterans absolutely deserve to have the best support when buying a house. And, hopefully that changes. That's a rule from the VA, though. So, I know there's discussions being had at that end, and that will likely change. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to figure something else out. So a lot of this is still being unwrapped. But, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? It's not my place to say if it's good or bad. It'll definitely change how business is done. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be very upfront and honest with everybody I deal with, just like I always have been. I am going to tell them, look, this is my worth, this is my fee, this is what I charge. And if you don't like it, that's just fine. It's a business decision. But I would bet dimes to dollars if you ask any of the myriad of clients I've helped over the last 5 years, they would all say Josh was absolutely worth what he earned. And, he got us a better deal, or he negotiated, or he got us the house, or he did this, or he helped us get a new refrigerator, like whatever I've done. Like, I've done so many things for different people just because that is my job to do. Now I'm going to have to go up front and get buyers to understand that is how it's going to be going forward. I'm not super worried about it. I survived COVID. I survived short sales. I survived the down market. I've been in this market for a long time. And at the end of the day, I have a sales background. I didn't come from another industry. I've been in the sales industry. I have a business management degree. I understand business, and that is what I do. So I'm a negotiator, right? A lot of people say, oh, I'm good because I come from this, I'm from this. I'm good because I have an actual sales background, and I know how to negotiate and I understand it. My partner, Theron, same exact background, comes from a sales background. So in my opinion, the best thing to have right now is somebody that has a sales background, not necessarily someone coming out of another industry to be a real estate agent, but somebody's a full-time real estate agent that has a sales background that knows how to negotiate. Because now we can go to the seller and say, hey, this is our offer. and this is what we want you to pay our real estate agent for helping us buy this house. So once again, it's a negotiation, right? A lot of people have not negotiated over the years, and it's just not been a thing. So what have we talked about? NAR settlement, $418 million, paid over 4 years. Who's going to pay that? Well, it's probably going to be realtors and our dues that we pay to the National Association of Realtors. I think that hasn't been come out and said, but we pay them to be part of the organization, and they use those dues to do things. Well, part of those dues is probably going to be us paying back this thing. So in essence, like, we are all going to collectively pay this. Some agencies have dropped out of NAR. Will that happen with the XP? I have no idea. It may not. They promised to do the best thing for us as agents, and I'm good with that, right? Like, I'm going to play by the rules and do what needs to be done, because at the end of the day, I do think the best will rise to the top. And the best rising to the top is going to absolutely serve everybody out there that's trying to buy and or sell a house. So $418 million NAR settlement, not completely ratified yet. The Department of Justice hasn't given an opinion on it. Buyer agency agreements now are going to be mandatory when this all goes live in July, about when you go to see a house. So you can't just call somebody and say, hey, Josh, I want to go see that house. We're going to have a conversation, right? We're going to have to talk about what this means. How am I going to represent you? What am I going to do for you? That's going to change. No more broker agent commission or commission sharing on MLS sources. Man, and it's going crazy on the internet. People are saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. You know, like, we don't even really know what's going to happen. Is it going to be advertised? Is it going to be an MLS that's not part of the normal MLS? There's lots of people that are talking about starting their own MLS. So, you know, lots of things definitely to come above this. But what I would urge you to do is don't believe the hype, right? This isn't the end of real estate. Real estate's a people business. That's all it's ever been. It's about your ability to make relations with other people. And, you know, and help them, right? Like, and if you go at it with that stuff, you will do well in this industry. It's about helping people. It's about getting them where they want to, and it is about serving people. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. That's why I've continued to do it for so long, and that's why I'm still here. My partner Theron, exact same thing for him. That's the reason he does it, because he absolutely loves helping people. You know, it's going to be a little bit harder to help first-time home buyers now, people that don't have the money, but we'll find a way. I promise you, we will find a way. We are strong negotiators. We have got tens of thousands of dollars off houses. Even in the height of things, we've still been able to get concessions, and now those concessions can be used to pay us. Will we earn less money? Yep, we probably will, because we're always going to do what's right for the person and not what's right for our paycheck. So if you're looking for a realtor, if you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to sell a house, I would urge you to ask your realtor that question. Why are you doing this? Is this for your paycheck? Well, of course I get paid. This I feed my family, right? But at the end of the day, if I help enough people get what they want, I'll be able to have anything else that I want. And that's how I've always done business. That's how I'll continue to do business. So with or without the lawsuit, we're still here to help you. And we will figure a way out to get your house sold, get you the best deal, get you the most dollars in your pocket, get you on to the next phase. For all you sellers out there, if you're selling a house, you're probably going to be a buyer. So, you know, think about that. If I'm now selling my house and I don't want to offer any commission to a broker agent commission, then that means when I buy a house, I'm probably not going to get anything back. Or maybe that's an option. Maybe it will. Who knows what's going to happen, right? But, you know, it's give and go. If you buy a house now in 2 or 3 years, you may be a seller. So it ebbs and it flows, and everybody gets to play all the parts. The simple fact, though, is most people only do 3 to 4 transactions in a lifetime, right? Done hundreds and hundreds of transactions. Most good real estate agents have. And so that's how you know, like, how to get through some of the pitfalls. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Absolutely leave a comment below. Ring our phone, you know the number. Smash the subscribe button, tap the bell for notifications, reach out. We are more than happy to talk with you through the progress. You know, look up our reviews on Google. Joshua Grossman, Ben Realtor. Like, I come up all over the place. You can see how many people I've helped and what the reviews are like. Like, everyone's pretty happy with my performance. And that's because I truly do care about people. Most people that we help buy a house, we end up becoming really, really good friends with. And Ben's still a small town, even though we have a larger population. So I think that's very, very important. So we hope you enjoyed the video. We hope you kind of give you a little bit better understanding of what's going on. Got to have a buyer broker agreement if you're shopping for a house. Sellers don't necessarily have to offer any commission, but they never did, right? Like for last year, they didn't have to, but most still did. It's not going to be advertised anywhere. So we're going to look at houses off of what the merit of the house is. The client decides what the house is, not how much you get paid on it. But it's never been like that, right? Like I show people, if they want to look at the house, we go and look at it, and we worry about the dollar and cents later. But now we can actually worry about the dollar and cents in the contract, and we don't have to just take what's being given. We can negotiate for it, and I think negotiation is absolutely a good thing. So, thanks for watching, and we hope we see you around town soon.